Ever start like messing with a broke nigga, and then all of a sudden your money start looking funny? Hi YouTube fam.
Hey guys,
Welcome back to
Mad Mix.
I'm your host, the lovely Noelle, aka Mary.
And you already know, Tiara today, also known as Sanutu.
Before we get into the video, get into these nails. My niece made them and she is 11, y'all. She 8 or whatever. So, you'll be seeing her custom collection coming soon. Don't get it twisted.
Yes.
But I just thought she was so freaking talented and she did such a good job. I just, of course, proud auntie moment.
Has to brag a little bit.
Had to brag a little bit. But on today's video, we are going to be talking about the power of sexual energy.
The power of sex.
So, without further ado, let's get into this very juicy topic. And as always, like, subscribe, share, you know the spiel, all the good stuff.
Don't be stingy, you guys. Like this video. If you like the vibe, join the game.
Hair, big Texas hair. Get into it. Big team.
It's like trying to rain, but we're like praying it doesn't.
It's not gonna rain on us. Do not rain on our parade.
So if it, all of a sudden rains,
yes, or if we have to stop this video and you see us in a new location, then you know what happened. But for now, let's just talk. So, I wanted to speak about several things, but first of all, I just want to talk about just what is sexual energy, right? I feel like for me, sexual energy is, of course, that thing that you have as a person, male, female, whatever, and it is this energy that is not really discussed that much about these days because we are told it's been cheapened almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be some religious thing where it's oh, don't have sex until marriage because you're a precious flower, don't get defiled or whatever. And I feel like if you come from that background, reclaiming that may look like you going out there and being free, kind of like this with the sexual liberation movement that was so big for the past 10 to 20 years.
Yes.
That has encouraged women to kind of take back that power. But in taking it back, we forgot to mention why it was something to be vilified to begin with.
Exactly.
Not only because in the religious sense, but also the power of your womb, your womb. So I think that sexual poweress that you hold is so important, especially as a woman. And when you share that with anybody, and sexual energy, I believe it can be transferred or even expressed outside of intercourse.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have, because energy is there, and you see those people that they just have this seductive nature about them, and it's very alluring, of course. But those, I feel like they're super in tune with understanding what that is, and they take advantage of it and use it in things that are not necessarily just relationships, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So sexual energy is a very powerful energy. There's a reason why after you had intercourse with someone that you feel so attached to them, right? You guys are exchanging energy on other realms. So you're connecting yourself to that person in a depth where you might not even have an understanding. And if they, if they're not on the same emotional level as you are, then as a woman, there you go, being caught up in your energy to all these people, and you feel so just clusterfuck, for lack of a better word, of energies that are just haunting you down. You go through things that you don't even, you go through a phase where it's almost as if you don't even know who you are, what you like anymore, because you have all these energies attached to you. Right. And so the power of sex is very, very deep. And if you know yourself, right, your advantage, men and women, for other reasons, So I think that's what we want to touch upon is
Right.
basically like knowing the power of it, one, and two, no, you shouldn't be out here having sex with everyone, honey.
Ever start like messing with a broke nigga, and then all of a sudden your money start looking funny, or you start dealing with a self-hitting dude, and all of a
Oh
sudden,
gosh.
like,
Honest
if you
truth.
don't understand, like once those energies, like my sister said, once you attach yourself to those energies, if you don't know how to pull them back, if you don't have the knowledge and understanding, then that's when it starts to mess you up, right?
Yep.
I feel like some people are good at detaching. Like, when I was younger, I'm like, oh, I can just do it. And like, I don't feel anything out there. Oh, I'm supposed to feel all in love. I don't feel that way. And I thought because I felt that way, that meant that I can just do whatever with my sexual energy, just like a
Right.
man can,
Right.
and not feel any of the consequences. But I felt the consequences in other ways. Whereas like, I started picking up the traits of the people that I was involving myself with.
Absolutely.
So that's why, as a woman, or the person with the canal or the vagina or whatever, once you let people enter into that space and kind of like dump on you, they're leaving more than
Yeah.
So you need to understand how to, if you don't know how to transmute that, if you don't know how to clear that energy, if you don't know how to reclaim that power in a sense, that's when it really will start messing you up. And then all of a sudden you have anxiety and you feel depressed, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I wonder why.
Right.
It's like,
Or you
okay,
picked up
right.
like new habits.
Right.
And like there's spirits attached to you. And there's something called STD, of course, but there's also a spiritual STD that
Right.
you could get from just having sex with everyone. So I guess that's the negative aspect of that as
Yeah.
far as society is concerned right now. We just transmute that into a positive thing. As far as like, I do like that now younger folks are so liberated, right?
Right.
They take their sexual energy and they kind of own it, and I really
Right.
do appreciate that. I love that it's not a taboo anymore. Like, back in the day, there was no sex talk that you're gonna have with your parents, but like now it's more, everyone is so open about it, and I do love
Much
that.
more open, and we're much more liberated. But in that liberation, sorry, playing fire. Lots of distractions in this video, but stick with us. That liberation, we have lost the power of it. Like, there was a reason why it was so vilified in the past, because back in the day, especially whenever women didn't have a lot of resources, our sexual energy was our power. Like, that was our, and because we were in tune with it, we understood what it meant, we were able to use it. You can only use something once you know how to use it, right? I could have a whole contraption that might do the most amazing things, but if I don't know how to use it, it's just taking up space in my house, right? Or even in school, and we have that like sex education, and they talk about like, when they're trying to describe how STDs can be spread, they'd be like, okay, so you
So
go and have
basic.
sex with one person, and then and then they have sex with this person. So you're having sex with them and those people that they have sex with, and then those people also have sex with those people. So really, when you have sex with one person, you're having sex with 200. Like when they say that, and we're like, oh my God, like, but that's also spiritually. Understand that if you're over here involving yourself with people that are giving themselves to other people, you're not just picking up on their energy, you're picking up on the other people's energies, so on and so forth.
Right.
Like, that's why it's I think like now that we've all kind of coming to reckon with what it meant to have this movement, the sexual liberation movement, a lot of women are saying, hey, I actually don't feel liberated. I actually don't feel free. I actually feel trapped. And I feel like if I say that, I'm almost looked at as like I'm a prude, or, oh, you're just not free within your womanhood, or what anxiety or traumas do you have around sex are making you not want to have it anymore. When people are just saying, no, it's not that. I'm choosing to be celibate voluntarily because I want to make sure that when I do involve myself with somebody, that it's worth my time, my energy, or when I found that when I don't involve myself with people, I'm more productive, my skin is glowing, my anxiety is low because you're not worried about some STD that you might catch. Like, there's so much anxiety that come around sex that are just beyond even the, the metaphysical or whatever. My journey is to the point where I'm choosing to withhold that energy, to withhold that power, because I know exactly what it's worth.
Yeah.
And in that, I'm finding power. I feel much happier. Like, I don't feel like I'm losing out on anything. Matter of fact, I feel like I'm gaining a world of stuff, because I know that once I do find that person, and I do make that choice to, break that celibacy in a sense, is because it's just, I don't know, it's just gonna be like so amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of it, in the pleasure aspect, but also because I know exactly what I'm coming down and laying down to do.
Right.
And what that energy being exchanged, the intention behind it is going to be so much more powerful than I'm just trying to escape. I'm just trying to fit in. I'm just trying to, do what I'm supposed to do because that's what happens after, 3 dates or whatever. And it's just like, when you understand that, like, I feel like just so much more empowered. Like, I do.
Yeah. I think Hollywood has taken sex and perverted it. They've made it to where it's like almost disgusting. This beautiful, powerful thing that you can create a human being with. This energy of just like connecting with somebody on a deeper level in the most purest and ecstasy form.
Right.
That they've taken that and they've perverted it and that so they could drive you away from owning that power and knowing how to use it, right? And going back to that point you made about sex education in school, they literally they tell you the basics, they tell you the anatomy,
Right.
but they don't tell you on the levels of what it is. And Hollywood has really played that game of confusing us and thinking that,
right.
Especially women, I'm not gonna sit here and act like just because you want to live your life a certain way, I could just purely judge you because you're not practicing the same thing that I am.
Right.
I think everyone has their free choice, and I'm not. This is just a suggestion, but being celibate for me and only using my energy and working with myself has solely been a decision that I've made so I can better learn myself.
For us, like, I'm celibate right now as well, and we just happen to be in the same space together. Maybe the reason why we're both in this place is because we are heavily focused on building ourselves, and we're heavily focused in gaining knowledge over things, and that mental clarity and channeling is beneficial. But it's not because I didn't come to this decision because she was there, or vice versa, right? We both live our lives, and in that sense, we both were like, we both have had our own different roads, way unique experiences that we've came to this area. Say you're in this area in your life right now where you kind of are, just exploring, just having fun, just doing whatever, just gaining that, maybe experience. Like, go for it. Nobody's here to judge you or tell you like don't do it.
Right.
But I will say is when you are in this place, be very careful of who you're attaching yourself to.
Absolutely.
Whether you like it or not, that will stick with you. And whether you don't feel it now, you'll feel it a year down the line, 2 years down the line. You will. And I'm not here to argue about that because there's nothing to argue about. Like, this is my opinion. This is my experience.
I mean, it's really science. It's not really our opinion, like,
in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, whenever we say like, you know who you're laying with or know who that person is, it's like, give yourself that time before you even jump into a situation. It doesn't matter if it's casual.
Yeah.
It can be casual and you can still know about that person. But like, if that person is not living a certain kind of life, it could even be their health, not even knowing the status of that person. Like, I don't think it should be so willy-nilly the way we make it, you know? You just
like
go,
that mindset, like you're affirming every day, like, I am rich, I am blessed, but then you're like sleeping with all these broke men with broke mentalities. You're spewing that same energy, that same sexual energy.
Right.
So you're affirming yourself 1,000 times that you are rich and you're this. It doesn't matter. Everything is received as energy. So when you are laying up with those people and you're affirming this about yourself, guess who's counteracting?
Right.
You're kind of like contradicting yourself. you're saying that you are wealthy, but you're also sleeping with people that are not of the same mindset as what you're trying to obtain. So that's what she means by that, you know?
Right. Like, you will attract it one way or another. Whatever you're attracting right now is where you are deep down.
Absolutely.
It's not what you say you want to be, right? It's not like about saying, hey, like, you know what, I think I'm ready to settle down. Like, not even settle down, but like, I'm ready for a serious relationship. I'm ready for someone that's going to take me seriously, that's going to love me, that's going to value the power of this thing that I'm giving them. But then if that's not where, if you're not healed certain things within yourself, if you've not cleared yourself of the energy that was there previously, just see what you're attracting. Like, you can know, like, I feel like the best indicator of where you are, whether that's friendships, relationships, anything, the best indicator about where you are is seeing who you're attracting. You know, I know that for a fact that, like, I feel it's very lonely, actually, like, where I am right now, because of the standards I have for myself, because of the things that I'm putting in for myself. It's like, really, I don't want to say it's rare, because I don't want to put that, I don't want to affirm that kind of, like, you know, idea, but it's like I feel like I meet people so far in between, and a lot of it is because, like, I can, like, meet somebody, or they can, like, be like, hey, I'm interested in you, da 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 da, but then we have 2 conversations or whatever, and it's not from a place of being jaded or hurt, but it comes from a place of just, I can see 10 steps ahead. I know that if I entertain this thing that does not actually match with my values, if I entertain this just from the place of loneliness, or from a place of, hey, it doesn't hurt to just go on a date with this person, like, it doesn't mean it has to lead anywhere. No, you're still entertaining it, right? Like, and I found that, you know, even like a year ago, whenever I had this mentality of, okay, this is the kind of person I want to meet, this is the kind of relationship I want to be in, but then I'll meet somebody that doesn't have, it's like the complete opposite, and then I'm like, well, it doesn't hurt to just go hang out for a few hours, free meal, da da da, or like, not even that, but just kind of being like, hey, it's nice to have company every once in a while. But I was like contradicting myself so much that, like, I was just getting anything thrown in my lap. Where now I feel like I'm so focused on what exactly that I want, and I'm so focused on who I want to attract, not from a place of being jaded, not from a place of brokenness, not from a place of saying, like, oh, I'm never going to, or having these predetermined ideas on other people. I give people equal chances. Like, once you come meet me here, like, it's a clean slate, right? Yes, we all have our biases and we all have our baggage in a sense, but I definitely feel like it comes from an honest place, and I feel like celibacy was a huge power in that. Like, I feel like I'm me. Like, I feel like my energy is mine. I feel like this is me. Like, I don't feel like it's me plus this person plus this person plus this person, you know? I don't sit here thinking about people that can't do nothing for me, because we're not attached. So they can't bring me up, and I think of them. So that's more on, like, you know, this other side, if y'all really, like, you know, believe in that. But I feel like I don't really be thinking about nobody like that. I feel like I'm so open, and I'm so excited to see, like, who the universe is gonna bring my way, because I know that union is gonna be so powerful, and I'm just basically preparing for that.
Yeah. And do you feel like now that you've, you know, kind of taken your sexual energy and have, you're, like, you know, clear, do you feel like you have better discernment when it comes to men?
Absolutely.
Like, when you know, because, like, you're still gonna be, I feel like you still get tested sometimes,
right? And you will get tested.
Yeah, and it's like having that discernment. You feel like you have that clear discernment of, oh, I can entertain that person, they would be beneficial to me, versus, oh, I know exactly where this is gonna go.
Yeah, it's just like, you know when you meet somebody, you can kind of tell where they're coming from, especially if you have experience, and you know that, hey, maybe in the past I would have entertained it, but this time I know where to break it off. That's why as you get older, dating does get trickier, and that's why a lot of immature men date younger girls, because they know that they have not gotten there mentally yet. So that's the whole thing about, oh, you're about to hit the wall, you're hitting the wall at 30, da 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 da. It's more like, no, you're now grown, you're now mature, you now understand and can have the discernment. Yeah. So it's too much pressure for me.
Oh yeah.
And for me, it's like, if you can't handle the pressure, you don't need to be here. My person, or that, you know, the person that's gonna come into my life, is going to open that challenge. Like, it's going to be so open to it. And it's not even going to be a challenge, because if we're both, you know, meeting up at the same energy and meeting up with the same intention, it's just going to be so smooth like butter, honestly.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't.
Entertaining or being with like-minded people is so beneficial to my mental health right now, because it only like solidifies where I'm at and my thought process. So if I, want to be successful, and I am wanting to do this with this and wanting to have this type of businesses, I'm going to entertain people that have achieved those things, right? I'm going to entertain a man that knows himself, first of all, knows his power, and also recognizes that same thing in me. Right? To where it's a mutual mind coherence there. Like, same like energy, like mindset. That's something that I am manifesting and welcoming in my life now, that I have, that I've now kind of disattached myself, went within and kind of tapped into myself and learning those different aspects of myself, and what's my thought, what was forced on me, or what was, attached to me. Like, such a huge liberation, the aha moment and the release that you get from taking that power back. And like, it's such a huge relief.
It's freedom.
It really is. I mean,
freedom.
It's freedom. It feels like it. It's such a good, peaceful place to be, and my heart is like so full and so content, and I give that to me, and it's like, wow, I found that in myself. And I don't have to look for that. I don't have to look for that elsewhere. It's always going to be in me, here with me. So celibacy is a beautiful thing in woman and man. And I think, even like semen retention, I know that's talked about nowadays in the spiritual guru community, and the power in it. But in women, no, not so much, because it's way deeper for us. And it's not to say that that's not where our power is. If anything, if you know yourself and you know your power, you will walk and talk and act as if. So therefore, you will be. There's so many benefits in knowing how to handle that magic, really, that essence, that how to carry that energy and use it to make yourself even more juicy, cosmic, even more
juicy,
magical. I mean, that's what
Mm-hmm.
attaches you to your divine self. That's where your divinity lies.
Exactly.
That's where it's a portal, babes. Like, that's the connection between the two realms. So,
and if you are out there having sex, make sure it's good sex.
Use condoms
and use protection.
Please
do all that stuff. Don't be stupid.
Don't.
Just don't do it.
It's never worth it.
It's not worth the anxiety, the stress,
the wahala. Goodness.
So, with that being said, we're out here getting eaten up by these Texas mosquitoes.
Y'all,
and we're about to get rained
on.
Humid.
It's so humid. Texas is not playing this year with this heat.
But we have the big Texas hair for that, baby. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it. We just wanted to hop on here like always. Oh, and it's raining. It's raining, so we gotta go. Bye.
Bye, guys.